My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. To support this YouTube channel, go to my Patreon link below, subscribe to this channel, make sure you get notifications, click the notification button, and share this segment everywhere. This is very, very important. The New York Magazine has an article, and it's indicative of the conspiracy theory that is Trump-Russia. Nunes, fine, the FBI didn't lie, but its font was too small. What they don't understand is this. Very, very simple concept. The mere fact that an FBI and that a DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign purchased dossier was used in any manner, in any effing manner, to spy on a Trump associate, which in turn means spying on Trump. If you spy on Manafort or Flynn or anyone that's a Carter Page or anyone that could possibly speak to Trump. So if you speak to if Donald Trump, candidate Trump, is calling Manafort or Flynn or Carter Page, and they're speaking on the phone or they're communicating via email, and their communication is under surveillance, then Trump is caught up in that surveillance. So he was right. He was being wiretapped when everyone else around him was wiretapped. But the issue here is the inability of the Democratic Party and conspiracy theorists, because they are conspiracy theorists. So everyone who believes in this Trump-Russia myth, it's time to call them what they are. Pure conspiracy theorists. That's the definition of a conspiracy theory. A fantasy without any evidence. Now, I've never stated, for example, that Seth Rich was killed by Hillary Clinton. Even if that were the case, Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and everybody else would say, oh, that's, she didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. She apologized. Everything's okay. And if anything, Clinton and it's all about gun violence. I've never stated that Hillary Clinton ordered the hit. I've stated always that it has probably, almost certainly has something to do with the DNC in some manner. I've always stated a very vague, I haven't said with 100% certainty, but with a very vague kind of disclaimer. Because two shots in the back, or getting shot in the back, nothing taken, we can go on forever about that. It wasn't a botched robbery, and even Donna Brazil agrees with me. But a conspiracy theory is Trump colluded with Russia without any evidence, and he was spied on, and there were FISA abuses, but everything is okay. Why? Because there was a drunken conversation with Papadopoulos, because look at all this smoke, but nothing points to any evidence. Even Adam Schiff says there's no evidence. Dianne Feinstein, no evidence. James Clapper is a very interesting one. We know now, in 2015, the GCHQ was spying on Trump. From 2015 until 2017 January, when James Clapper was asked by Chuck Todd, is there any evidence? And he said, no, there's no evidence. He was privy to all the intelligence, quote-unquote intelligence. And by the way, this isn't national security. This is purely an extension of the Democratic National Committee. Purely an extension of that. So the more they're exposed, the more they double down. Now what they're saying is, oh my goodness, the FISA court was given. It was a footnote in the application. So that was the central premise of the Nunes memo. No, it wasn't. The Democratic Party, pundits, people beholden to the Democrats, are actually making this about something that it's not. And then saying, you see, we won. This is a ridiculous New York Magazine article. The central, most damaging accusation in the memo published Friday by House Republicans is that the FBI failed to disclose the bias of one of its sources when it applied to wiretap Carter Page. No, that's not. No, it's not. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. They try to manipulate the narrative by looking at things from the way they would think, or from what they would think is important. The central premise, the most damaging accusation in the memo, was that there was zero evidence in the Steele dossier, number one. It was unverified, full of salacious rumors, accusations, without any proof, hearsay, gossip, and that was used. That's the biggest issue. Another issue was that the mere fact that a judge would even look at that and also accept that it was opposition research or that the DNC or Hillary Clinton paid for it, paid for the rumor and hearsay and gossip and innuendo. And now we know that Cody Shearer, who was a Clinton propaganda person, along with Sidney Blumenthal, who might have had a hand in another dossier. Now we know that the Clinton machine was all a part of it. That too, even if the fact that the judge would know is even actually bolsters Nunes. It doesn't hurt Nunes. So the Democratic Party is all over the place. They're saying, oh, well, you know what? The Steele dossier is unverified and contains errors. Even BuzzFeed wrote that. But it's okay that a FISA warrant was utilized based on that. And then it wasn't only utilized based on that. It was also utilized by the drunken conversation with Papadopoulos. It was also, based on the drunken conversation with Papadopoulos. So it's like they're doubling down on their insanity, and they don't even realize that they're actually bolstering the Nunes argument. Neither the initial application, neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose or reference the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or charge the memo. That was hardly explosive. Of course, anything to the Democratic Party or its writers are hardly explosive. Of course it's explosive. Of course, the fact that the issue is not about whether or not the judge knew. The fact that the judge knew the dossier was used is horrible and actually bolsters the Nunes argument. The issue is the dossier itself being used in any manner or viewed in any way as intelligence. It's a simple concept, very difficult for conspiracy theorists to understand. And it is worse than Watergate. You actually have a sitting president spying on an incoming president simply for his rival. There's zero evidence of anything. The NSA is moderately confident. So that everything's bolstered here by the NSA assessment or the FBI CIA assessment. But in their intelligence reports, they're assessing with moderate to high confidence. Nobody's certain of anything. That's what a conspiracy theory is. When you have confidence in something without any evidence. It's not true. Well, let's put it this way. Confidence in something without any... confidence in something very, very specific, a specific accusation. So if you have a vague accusation, Trump, it looks like Trump might have colluded. Not Trump did collude or he did have ties. And therefore, those ties mean that he cheated Hillary Clinton in the election. That's a conspiracy theory. When you make one logical leap after the other, and you don't stop. And then he goes, okay. Notice, and then the article, notice how the FBI lied about the Steele dossier has been scaled back to the FBI did not highlight truth about the Steele dossier in the part of the application we bothered to read. So now the main attack on the FBI is the font size. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it isn't. This is from Jonathan Chait. What they do is, of the New York Magazine, what they do is they pretend they're Republicans, or they pretend they're conservatives, they pretend they're independents, or they pretend they're Bernie voters, or they pretend they're anyone looking at this document, or looking at this scandal. And then they try to pick and choose the argument on the other side that they deem is important. And then manipulate the argument, and then say, you see how wrong you are. The issue, Mr. Chait, New York Magazine, Adam Schiff, anyone who is pushing this conspiracy theory. The dossier should never have been used as evidence. It is a gossip. It's led to 5 defamation lawsuits already. And you can imagine the tens of millions of dollars in cumulative lawsuits from defamation and libel. Trump's lawyer never even stepped foot in Prague. Carter Page was on Fox yesterday. He wasn't arrested by Adam Schiff. The big link to Russia was on Fox. So the issue here is one of pure hearsay being confused as evidence. The big revelation of the Nunes memo was that the dossier was used. That's the big revelation. That in and of itself cannot be defended. You can't. What about a fake news? What about a fake news dossier used for Clinton? You don't even need that. Hillary Clinton committed crimes. That's why when people say, "Oh, you focus on Clinton," yeah, because she committed crimes, and she's the source of all of this. With her and Bill, both of them, they lost $1.2 billion to Trump. Every excuse me, every publication, every major media news channel beholden to them, MSNBC, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, New York Magazine, all of them had to backtrack and then push the Trump Russia narrative. And if the tables were turned, and if President Obama's administration was spied on by a Republican president using a dossier purchased by Republican operatives, if the tables were turned, they would cry, and the indignation would be heard throughout the universe. Here, it's, oh, no problem, everything's fine. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Thank you so much for listening.